You don't have to believe the lessons. You can actively resist them. None of that matters. If you really want all of what the course has to offer, it's really imperative that you go through the lessons. And as you know, there are 365 lessons, one lesson a day for a year. That's the basic idea. The only real rules around the lessons are that you don't do more than one in a day. You can take as much time as you actually want to take doing them, but not to do more than one in a day. Other than that, you don't have to believe the lessons. You can actively resist them. None of that matters. It's the way the course works is that the course works on you. You don't really work on it. You allow it, the power of an idea, right? All you have to do is hear these ideas, and there's really no way they're not going to get in to some degree. They're going to worm their way in. Once you've heard them, they're in there, and they start to work on you. That's the basic idea. And if you just do most of the lessons, have you sit in silence, take a few minutes and repeat these ideas to yourself. Some of them, as you start to get into them, have you do them multiple times through a day. It is really, really a very powerful thing to do. It's life altering. You build a connection and relationship with the Holy Spirit in a way that you can't just by reading the information. So it's an actual practice. It's like, you can read all there is to read about playing golf, and I'm not a golfer, but unless you actually pick up the clubs and start swinging at the ball and start practicing, you're not really going to know what golf is, and you're not going to get good at it, right? You have to do it. You have to practice it. And the lessons are a form of practice. The other form is just practicing what the whole book is constantly talking about, which is forgiveness. Practicing forgiveness, which is really just the willingness to see the truth. Forgiveness means being willing to let go whatever it is you think you see or know about this person or situation in front of you, knowing that if it's an upsetting situation in any way, it's upsetting you because you've misinterpreted who you are and what you are, and who and what the person in front of you is, and who and what God is. And so there's something for you to see you're not seeing, and that's forgiveness. It's saying, you know what? I'm not going to buy into that. I'm going to ask to be shown. That's the main practice of the course. It is very simple and can be very challenging to apply, right? Because the number one thing the ego is invested in is what? What is the 5-letter word that begins with an R that the ego is most invested in?
Gotta be right.
Exactly, being right. It has to be right. And in order to practice forgiveness, you have to be willing to not be right around what you already think is happening or going on, and therefore not be justified in your defense and attack. And the ego is not about that. It is about attacking and defending. That's all it does. That's all it does. That's it. No matter what it tells you it's doing, that's all it does. And so it has some very, very cunning ways of doing that. So you don't really, it's hard to see that that's what you're doing, but that is it. It's finding a way to defend against, all of the terrible things it thinks it's happening to it. But really what it's defending against is connection.